Build habits, not goals. Never have 0 days. Microactions and nudge theory. There are differences between habits and goals, and they require different actions. Habits are better than goals. For example, you want to learn a new language. You can set a goal to become fluent in that language within 6 months. Or, you can also develop a habit to commit 30 minutes a day to practice this new language. Another example. The goal could be to make a living by becoming a writer, but the habit would be to write 5,000 words a day or write one short story every day. In terms of losing weight, losing 20 pounds is a goal. Eating a healthy diet is a habit. In running, complete a marathon under 4 hours is a goal. Exercise daily is a habit. Making $1 million is a goal. Being a serial entrepreneur is a habit. Because the process of achieving the goal is uncontrollable, and you will always encounter various unexpected things. Compared to setting goals, forming habits would make things so much easier, because once habits are cultivated, it will run automatically to help you overcome difficult tasks. Well-designed habits can ensure that we achieve our goals step by step. Suppose your goal is to write a novel. You should develop a habit of writing 200 words a day. Even if it takes 250 days to write a novel, there's no need for pressure on how many words you write every day as long as you show up to write. However, if you set a goal to write a book within 4 months, this goal may cause psychological stress and eventually cause you to quit altogether. Secondly, the changes brought by habit far exceed our imagination. The habit will acquire less determination and willpower to act. The habit will make the brain disregard everything and run subconsciously. After forming a habit, the brain will also change. The purpose of forming a habit is to make the action simple and finally achieve the goal. Never have a 0 day is the motto you should use when adapting any habits. Never having a 0 day means you never want to pass a day by, which you did absolutely nothing that let you move a little further on your success metric. If you're a writer, writing one sentence is better than nothing. If you want to get fit, do one push-up rather than not getting out of bed. If you want to start a business, make one phone call to one potential client is better than doing nothing. For me personally, ever since the age of 13, I do not remember a single day that I slept, going to bed without learning a little bit more than I woke up that morning. I made it a point for me to learn something new every single day. Take action every day and stay focused for the long haul. Time will prove it all. How shitty you are today is not important. What matters is that you are not shitty in the future. And why are you not shitty in the future? Because the old you are not afraid of not being shitty. No matter how bad you were, you practiced hard and moved further each day, and over time you meet the future you, who is not bad at all. There is a Chinese saying that summarizes things up well. Dan Xing Hao Shi, Mo Wen Qian Cheng. Just keep doing the good things and don't ask about the future. Take action every day and focus on the long-lasting war. Time will prove everything. Stephen Gass said in his book Microhabits, narrow down your intended habit to be incredibly small. It will make the brain think that it is really no threat, and you will not be afraid to start. Microhabits are much easier to stick to, because the goal is small enough. So as long as you do a little bit more, it will exceed your expected goals, and without persevering pressure, it conversely will persevere. I remember there's Guy, he wanted to get fit, so he committed to doing only one push-up a day. Guess what? On numerous occasions, he ends up doing more than one push-up, because the resistance is a lot smaller since he already got into the position. In the end, he got fit and even wrote a book about it. Remember to always take action and move forward in life daily. There's this book called, which provides a great nudge theory. It has helped me a lot with motivation issues, and I find myself getting much more done. Nudge is a small change in setting up the things in order to achieve a huge change in your actions. If you don't want to constantly look at your phone, put your phone in another room rather than keep it by your side. If you want to keep off social media, don't let your phone auto log you in. Instead, force yourself to type in the account name and password each time if you want to log in. If you want to stop using a certain app on your phone, uninstall it to force yourself to have to reinstall it every time you want to use it again. Want to encourage people to donate their organs? Put donate as default opt-ins. You'll be surprised at how such little changes can make huge impacts. So how do you design a nudge for yourself? There are 3 key control points. One is to fully investigate the environmental factors and see what interferences there are in the environment. For example, if you want to quit smoking, the biggest interference is cigarettes and lighters. Confirming these two interferences is the first step. The second step is to find a leverage for nudge. In other words, design a specific nudge method. In the case of quitting smoking, you can intentionally place cigarettes and lighters in two places. Whenever you want to smoke, you have to find these two things separately. There are always a few times you will feel too troubled to gather and therefore don't smoke. The third step is to modify the nudge method. After a period of execution, if you find newer interference items, you should add them. For example, when quitting smoking, you find that the friends who smoke around you are also an interference term. Then you need to add another nudge design. You can tell them in advance that you are quitting smoking and ask them not to approach you when smoking. In a 2013 study by Cornell University, they wanted to make students choose more healthy snacks instead of eating junk food. Therefore, they used a seemingly very simple method. Put junk food on a higher, more difficult to get shelf, and put fruits, nuts, and other things in the store within easy reach and conspicuous. Does it feel a little too naive? But guess what? It worked. Do it badly, then do it better. How to overcome your perfectionism mentality. We must overcome the mentality of perfectionism because the perfect moment to start will never come. Regardless of doing good or bad, the most important thing is to start doing it. Be a realist. It will never be perfect. Don't think too much about the details and have a perfect plan. The focus is whether the action has started or not. Even if you can only spend 10 minutes a day on it, then start from these 10 minutes. Limit your thinking time. No matter what work you do, in theory, you can collect unlimited information and make unlimited preparations. Prepare unlimited drafts. For example, if you want to write an article, in fact, you can do it if you are told you need to write it within 24 hours, but if I tell you that you have 2 months to write, then you can spend 2 months writing it. Therefore, since perfection does not exist, then simply set a deadline for research time. After that, jump straight into the work. You will find that when you think this way, procrastination will be fewer. Parkinson's law states, no matter how complicated or simple a task is, it will automatically fill up all the time you allocate to it. The more time, the lower the efficiency. An American musician named Leonard Bernstein once said, "To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time." A busy person can send a stack of postcards in 20 minutes, but an old lady doing nothing can spend a whole day in order to send a postcard to her granddaughter. If there is plenty of time, each task will automatically inflate. No matter whether the time you allocate to it is 1 hour, 1 day, or 1 month, it will consume all this time by adding various details. To avoid letting work occupy too much of your time, we must set a deadline for each task. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. If you want to compose a song, start by creating a shitty one. If you want to travel around the world, start saving money and start planning the most likely routes, the cheapest transportation and accommodation possible. If you want to learn photography, don't use the lack of a camera as an excuse. Start now to watch tutorials online, learn all the metrics, skills, and Photoshop. Don't wait until everything is ready before you start. Start now and do a bad job. After you start doing it, you will have kinetic energy. Zuckerberg said when Facebook was founded, "Done is better than perfect." Even to this day they preach, move fast and break things. Aim to be brave, not perfect. Eric Ries has a book called The Lean Startup. He suggests that instead of executing on the perfect plan, the entrepreneur should learn which of his efforts are most valuable to his users in the least amount of time. No need to think too far into the future. Start with a minimum viable product first. Launch your product fast, listen to user feedback, and then continuously improving is the most important thing. The core idea of lean entrepreneurship is to quickly enter the market at the lowest cost possible, obtain data through the iteration of the smallest viable product, and verify the entrepreneurial idea, thereby further improving the product and ultimately gaining a larger market. Most of getting this done is not about having ideal conditions, inspiration, or even motivation, so stop waiting for all that and just glue your ass to the chair and start doing it.